Welcome back. You're watching Global Eye. Earlier this week, the Israel government sent a special flight to India with senior scientists from Israel's Ministry of Defense to work with the DRDO to develop a 30-second COVID-19 test. India and Israel teams are carrying out trials at Ram Manohar Lohia Hospital in New Delhi. The test includes a voice breathalyzer, isothermal and polyamino acid test. If the trials are successful, then the two countries may deploy this testing strategy as soon as possible. Israel has also lifted the ban on export of ventilators as a special gesture for India. I caught up with Israel's ambassador to India, Ron Malak, and began by asking him about this 30-second test, how it works, and the current stage of trial. Let's listen in.
I would start with the cooperation between Israel and India on science and technology, which eventually led to this joint research. So the cooperation, the scientific cooperation between Israel and India is going for a long time. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, we decided to focus on finding solutions for COVID-19. Our two prime ministers had some conversation and they decided to share and to cooperate in order to find solution to this pandemic. The best scientists from Israel and India, from our Ministry of Defense, the RDD, and from the Indian side, the principal scientific advisor for Prime Minister, Professor Agavan, and the head of DRDO, decided to cooperate and work together, joint venture, and find solutions for rapid tests for COVID-19. We tried few technologies, and there are 4 technologies that were found most promising with the biggest chances to give results within seconds. One of them is audio, voice, like just asking the one that is getting the test just to speak and trying to, so to speak, to find the fingerprint of the COVID-19. The second one is high frequency. We project high frequency on the sample and then we can get to see if there is some tracing of COVID-19. Isothermal testing is the third technology, and polyamino is the fourth technology. So these 4 technologies are now being tested. The process has been going for a few weeks. The joint research was going for a few weeks. We started testings in Israel, and now we came to India just to complete the testings here in India.
Okay, so Ambassador Malak, what is the sample size of testing that we're looking at? We believe that a test process is being carried out in India, in New Delhi.
Talking about few days that you are going to test thousands of people in these 4 technologies. And what we are trying to achieve is to see if one technology or maybe combination of these technologies will give us reliable results within few seconds. Because this can be a game changer for the world if we can get just, a local testing, which is also cheaper but faster. We can think about like what we can do with international flights, with conferences, all kinds of events that we prevent now from doing. It will change dramatically the way that we live until we'll find a vaccine and immune on the population in the world.
Is any timeline being finalized by the two sides, and what happens after that?
Well, we are talking about few days, as you mentioned, and the whole research will conclude within few weeks. We will know within few weeks if it's a go or no go. Hopefully it will be a go. And after that, once we achieve what we are looking for, we will start producing these tests and to see how we can spread it fast and as much wider as we can.
All
so
right.
we're talking about a few weeks.
Okay, you're talking about a few weeks. What would be the cost of this testing mechanism that is being developed jointly by India and Israel?
Well, as I said, these tests will be very cheap. If you're talking about the tests themselves, because they are done locally. And actually what we are looking for is just the one that is getting tested just to blow to a tube. And then we take this sample and test it, and within 20, 30, 40 seconds, we'll know if this one is positive or not positive to COVID-19. So it's locally, it's cheap and very fast. And the whole research is, as I said, been going for a few weeks.
All right. So is this one machine that is being used, Ambassador Malak, or it's a series of processes that are being combined?
Well, basically for each technology, it's a different machine or different technology that is tested. So if it will be a combination of more than one technology, which eventually will give the results that we are looking for, so it will be more than one, and maybe it will be combined in the future. But since we are working very fast, I think it's one of the fastest research that we did since a long time ago, because we understand that time is very important in this issue. We'll see how we can manage it from the beginning with different machines, but maybe later to combine to one machine.
So if it works, the plan is to deploy it as soon as possible for testing populations for COVID-19.
Yes.
Also, the special flight that came to India from Israel, the Israel government has said that it was carrying other breakthrough technologies as well, along with mechanical ventilators. Could you tell us about the other technologies being shared with India?
Yes, exactly like you said. So in this special flight that came 3 days ago from Israel to India, we had these research delegations, our scientists. The second component that was there on the flight was all our latest achievements, technological developments of medical equipment that was invented just basically and especially for fighting COVID-19 and was found useful and efficient in Israel. I myself went to the leading hospitals in Israel, accompanied by our experts from the Ministry of Health, and we located and collected the equipment, medical equipment that was developed with the latest technologies using AI, artificial intelligence, big data analysis, machine learning, and was found useful with fighting with COVID-19. And we brought it here with us to share it with our friends here in India. Basically, we're going to start with Hospital AIMS, but then whatever will be found useful and needed, we are going to spread all over. Third component, as you asked, are very advanced respirators that we brought with us. And what is 83 of them? And what is very special about that is that those respirators are export banned in Israel. And we got a special waiver for India. As we always say, good friendship is reflected in times of crisis. And what is happening between Israel and India is a very good and deep friendship. Since the outbreak of the pandemic, the Israelis got so much help and assistance from the Indian authorities. We evacuated thousands of Israelis that were stranded all over India under complete lockdown and closed skies. And we got all the assistance that we need from Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of Civil Aviation, from BICA, CISF, and all the police organizations and all the state governments. They helped us and assisted us. Bringing all these 1,000 Israelis all got back home safe. And we appreciate it so much. And when we needed medicine and raw materials for medicine and protecting gears, of course, India stand aside Israel. And now we are coming here with our latest achievements and technologies in medical equipment that we developed and was found useful. And we share it with our friends here in India. Of course, this respirators with special waiver. This is what friendship is about. This is our values of friendship. And I think that after this pandemic, Israel and India will be even closer friends, as much closer as they were. They will be even closer.
All right. Thank you, Ambassador Malka, for joining us. With that, it's a wrap on this edition of Global Eye. Thank you for watching. Stay tuned to CNBC TV 18 for more news and updates.